Dr. Will Carver of Auteur Autopsy, and here today we're going to be watching our first movie together. Exciting stuff. For this first one, we'll be looking at Creature of Destruction from 1968. The movie was directed by one Larry Buchanan as part of an 8-movie low-budget film deal for American International Pictures. It basically amounted to color remakes of marginally successful movies from the previous decade. In this case, a 1956 film called The She-Creature. It stars Les Tremayne, Pat Delaney, who's a real looker, and Aaron Kincaid, who is something of a surfer teeny bopper type before starring in this one. The movie features a world-class mesmerist, Dr. Basso, played by Les Tremayne, who successfully predicts murders committed by a sea creature in hopes of being taken seriously by the scientific community. He also hopes to make some money off this so-called gift. In reality, he's just putting his haughty assistant, Delaney, under a spell that places her soul into the reincarnated monster. I think this Dr. Basso character was onto something here. Later, I'll be trying out his formula for money and prestige on my lovely nurse, my remains, so stay tuned for that. For now, let's go to the show.
Welcome back to Dr. Carver's Auteur Autopsy's presentation of Creature of Destruction.
How about that dance number there? This is one of 2 insane musical interludes we are privy to before the end of the film. My favorite little story about the production of this Larry Buchanan film comes from an interview Kincaid, who plays the Air Force shrink, did in the early 2000s. During one night of filming, Kincaid thought things were improving when 100 or so formally dressed extras showed up for the scenes when Basso does his prognosticating. Kincaid said, quote, "I couldn't believe such production values until somebody showed me an ad from the local newspaper heralding a free buffet dinner at the club to anybody who showed up in fancy clothes. Once they were packed inside, Buchanan literally sealed off the exits until he had completed 4 or 5 hours of incompetent filming. Finally, around 1 in the morning, the sweat-soaked ensemble was told that they could go to their cars, but that they must run and look terrorized while doing so. The direction was hardly necessary as the nearly 100 Texans quickly raced to the parking lot in an effort to flee. Needless to say, the duo never worked together again." Coming up, you may notice the guy walking around on the outside of the house when they find the body is not quite right. That's because Kincaid fulfilled his contractual obligation and left the set fed up with the director's ineptitude. Buchanan ended up donning Kincaid's uniform, which was 4 sizes too small, with lines dubbed in from the tape recorder. So now let's watch out for that as we get back to the movie.
Welcome back to Dr. Carver's Auteur Autopsy's presentation of Creature of Destruction.
What do you think about that Dr. Basso and his whole mentalist shtick? In the movies, these guys are always so celebrated. Like here, we see hundreds of people in their formal wear in awe, while Basso dazzles them with the astoundingly brilliant prediction that someone, somewhere in the world, would be murdered that night. But you know, seeing that, I thought, hey, I can ramble on and make vague predictions while a pretty woman sits there, so I'm gonna try it out. So this is lovely Nurse Maines. Myra, say hello.
Hello.
So first I'm going to do a little bit of prognostication, and then we'll do a little bit of mesmerizing. What do you think of that?
Well, doctor, I'm already mesmerized.
Ooh. So, for my first prognostication, I prognosticate that someone, somewhere in the world, is going to get attacked by a monster today.
Welcome back to Dr. Carver's Auteur Autopsy's presentation of Creature of Destruction.
See, that old dude sees the potential to make money off an endeavor like this. So I figured I'd mesmerize my lovely nurse here, who's going to tell us all about her most recent life, just like that bit in the movie. I'll probably use this as like... Go back to your most recent life. Now that you have reverted back to your most recent life, Tell me your name.
My name is John.
And tell me about yourself, John.
I went on a manhunt once. Just got back from Nam. I was hitchhiking through Oregon. Next thing I know, there's a bunch of cops on my trail, chasing me through the woods. I had to take them all out. It was a bloodbath.
Tell me more.
Another time, I went back to Nam, and they drew first blood. I snapped like a twig. I was up at night. I burned down a village in Nam. I killed everything that moved, everything that lived. They drew first blood.
Interesting. That sounds familiar. I'll have to figure out where I've heard that before and get back to you after the commercial. After the break. Whatever.
Welcome back to Dr. Carver's Auteur Autopsy's presentation of Creature of Destruction.
So that was an interesting scene there with the motorcyclist singer coming up on that group of beachgoers. We're just sitting there waiting for someone to roll up and immediately start serenading them with a song about how depressed he is and wants to die and so forth. So they can just hop up and start sexy dancing. Then he leaves and gets murdered while the beachgoers sit back down and wait for someone else to come and sing to them about nonsense. Anyway, so now that Nurse Maines is under hypnosis, I'm going to try to revert her back to a previous form. Maybe not as far back as a sea creature. That might be a little too much to handle for this first go-round. But we're going to try to revert her back to a pre-human form. Here we go. Nurse Maines, I want you to go back. Back to a form before you were human. Before you were young and beautiful. But first, I'm going to touch you. All right.
And now the conclusion of Dr. Carver's Auteur Autopsy's presentation of Creature of Destruction. Welcome back to Dr. Carver's presentation of Creature of Destruction. That obviously didn't work, so I'm going to try a new tactic here. I'm back here with Nurse Maines, and we are going to send her back to her first humanoid form. So I want you to go back, back, back to your first humanoid form. Go back. So now that you're in your first humanoid form, I want you to go and comb the beach and find someone. And I want you to find that person, and I want you to kill them. I want you to kill this person. Go kill. Go for it. That's so good. That's exactly what I wanted. That's so great. Yeah.
I guess I should have finished the movie to see how it turned out before trying it out for myself. But whatever. I hope you enjoyed our first movie together. Coming up for the rest of the month of October, I'll be doing a sneak peek of Happy Death Day, as well as taking a look at the movies Intruder and Halloween before finally watching Night of the Living Dead together for the holiday. Until next time, this is Dr. Carver signing off.